he was a politician, he really worked hard to keep politics out of our decision making. So I just wanted to commend him on the direction that he's given the board over the years and for his ability to speak directly. He prides himself on speaking truth to power, but I think he's happy to speak to anybody about anything. But we really admire him, and I'm sure this resolution doesn't capture all of our thoughts, but I'm going to read it and present it to him this evening. Whereas Michael J. Collins has served as a member of the Board of Education of Baltimore County with distinction and honor from July 1st, 2011 through December 4th, 2016, and he has provided exemplary service to the students, parents, and staff of Baltimore County Public Schools. And whereas Mr. Collins has worked actively for the achievement of all Baltimore County students with focus on preparing all students to be globally competitive. And whereas he has served on the following Board of Education committees, Building and Contracts, where he not only served as a member, but as Vice Chair, the Curriculum Committee, and the Government Relations Committee. And whereas Mr. Collins has dedicated his life to public service, and he's placed the needs of all students as his first priority. And whereas Mr. Collins has committed his time and expertise to the Baltimore County Public Schools community now, therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of Baltimore County, herewith assembled in regular session on the 22nd day of November in the year 2016, recognizes the outstanding contributions of Michael J. Collins, and be it further resolved that the Board does herewith extend its deepest appreciation and gratitude for his dedication, loyalty, and service, and further extends its best wishes for good health, happiness, and continued success in his future endeavors. Michael, sincere congratulations. And I have no doubt whatsoever that he has a few words to say.
As you all know, I never saw a microphone I didn't like. First thing I wanted to tell you, I noticed as Chuck was reading this really whereas overwhelming resolution, I noticed at the bottom there is a PS. It says, and don't let the door hit you in the... It really doesn't say that. I do have a couple of things I want to say. First of all, I want to thank all of you for your kind remarks. Abby, that was very generous of you. I don't know if why can't I think of his name right now? Bill Lawrence is still here or not. And also Bosch and all the folks who spoke last time and my colleagues on the board who spoke. It's very generous of all of you to say nice things, and I really do appreciate it. It's been a great honor to serve on the Board of Education for Baltimore County. When I was asked to do this 5.5 years ago by the county executive and the governor, my first reaction to them was, are you nuts? I'm going to be 71 in a month, and are you sure you want an old man on the board? Well, when I got here, there were a lot of old men on the board already, who are also gone by now, except for the oldest of all, David Uhlfelder, who's still here. David outlasted me, but David and I are the longest serving. David is the longest serving member of the board. I do want to just make a couple of remarks, and I know that I always talk too long, but that's just the way it goes. I really tried hard to do good things, and I also, as Chuck aptly said, I speak what I believe to be truth to power, and I speak it very distinctly, and sometimes very directly. And I just did want to say that if I ever said anything that offended any of you personally, I beg your pardon, because I never intend any of my comments to be directed at your person, only at your policy. It's wisdom, or in the case of my comments, usually it's lack of wisdom. But in any event, I did want to make sure that I said that. I do want to, though, take credit, and I'm sorry not surprised, but sorry that so many of the teachers left because they have to go home and continue to work. But David and I are the two original board members who were here in 2011 when we made the decision, I should say in 2012, made the decision to hire Dr. Dance as our superintendent. And that was a leap of faith, to be sure. He was 30, coming to be superintendent of the 25th largest school system in the United States. We took that leap of faith, believing that he had the kind of vision and the kind of personality that was something that would help our system move forward. In no way did we view that as a reflection on our previous superintendent, Dr. Joe Hairston, who is not only a great personal friend of mine, but he was also a great superintendent. But the board decided to move forward with Dr. Dance and to make the generational switch. I'm very proud of that decision that we made back then, David, you and I, and the board at that time. I'm also proud to be part of the 10 members of the board currently, which voted to rehire Dr. Dance, offering him another contract. And I just feel that that's very important to make note of, particularly at this time, given the atmosphere that we are in. I also, pardon me, want to mention a couple of things in addition. And this is a comment to my friends, including Dr. Dance, and all of you good, hardworking staff folks, and all the ones that aren't here but are work outside of the schoolhouse. I've been privileged in my life to be able to be in a position to be in charge of a lot of things in my professional life, at which I've been very blessed. And as a leader, you have to do one of three things every day. You have to lead, you have to follow, or you have to get out of the way. The hardest thing for a leader to understand is when to follow or get out of the way. I am convinced, more than ever, seeing the teachers and their signs today, listening to Abby for all these years, having taught for 30 years, that it is time for the central office personnel to get out of the way of the teachers in the schoolhouse, to get out of the way of the principals in the schoolhouse, and to let them get caught up on all of the remarkable, innovative, creative changes that we have made. It's really important to grasp the scope and magnitude of what we're trying to do as we pursue deliberate excellence in our school system. And Dr. Dance, every day he's been with us, has pursued that deliberate excellence. Even when I didn't agree with a particular decision or a particular implementation plan or whatever it might have been. I never once doubted his dedication to pursuing deliberate excellence. But it's time now, folks, who are not in the schoolhouse every day, to become the supporters, the cheerleaders, the assistants to our teachers and our principals and all of the in-school personnel as they consolidate and refine and implement those monumental changes we have made, so that as the years progress, more of our students will be highly technologically savvy. More of our students will be code proficient, will be Spanish language proficient, will be truly, when they walk across the stage, really college and career ready. But we have to give them all a rest now. Let them catch up. I don't mean a rest. I mean a rest from further good ideas. Because I was a classroom teacher for 30 years. And while I love all of those who have left the classroom, I'll tell you right now, you're fibbing if you don't say you forget a little bit of what it was like on a day-to-day basis. Right, Penelope? Right. You forget what it's like. So I'm encouraging you in the most firm way I can to continue the pursuit of deliberate excellence, but no more new stuff. Consolidate, refine, maybe eliminate some of the busy work, some of the nonsensical, I'll say nonsensical, you all can't say that, but some of the nonsensical data collection or whatever it might be. Give the boys and girls a break in the schoolhouse. They're great people. They work really, really hard. So you're welcome. But I want you really to understand that. I have two other things to say. And my colleagues aren't heckling me yet. This one is directed to them. I take great pride in speaking truth to power. And I've always done that in my entire life. And I will continue as long as I have breath to do it. But I've been troubled in recent times. And as a board member, I'm a little bit troubled too, while having a passionate respect for the First Amendment and all of the rights that it brings. We still have to be strong as board members to not be shy about speaking truth to inaccuracy, to speaking truth to judgmental errors, sometimes being a little harsher in my choice of words, speaking truth to stupid or truth to crazy. Again, always respect everyone's right to assembly, to speech, to all of those things guaranteed in our Constitution that make the United States of America the envy of the world. But as leaders of the educational system, we have to be courageous, and we have to stand up from time to time and not only speak truth to power, but speak truth to other things as well. And my final remark, so I won't disappoint anybody, is about my beloved Kenwood. The defining institution of my life was Kenwood High School. All that I have, all that I ever am, ever became, I owe to Kenwood High School. The important things I did in my life, I should say the most important things I did in my life, were not done on the floor of the Senate of Maryland, which was an enormous privilege to be there for 16 years, is not done sitting as an administrative judge on the bench in the Board of Contract Appeals for the last 14 years, or here on this board. The most important thing I did was work in those halls and in those classrooms and on those fields and with those young people. So I am officially now turning over the guardianship of Kenwood to my friend Steve Birch, who is a graduate of Kenwood, class of 1974, to June Eaton, who is the representative of our district, the 7th District, and to my seatmate, Marisol Johnson, who is just a wonderful human being. And I'm giving you three the mantle of guarding Kenwood at all costs. Make sure the air conditioning gets done on time. Don't listen to Pete tell us it costs too much. Don't listen to anybody say, we can't do this because. It's important. And at Dallas, I want to say, Dr. Dance, I should say, in this formal setting, don't get any ideas about taking away our new principal. Kenwood has an outstanding young 33-year-old principal, Brian Powell, who has captivated the student population and the community in a few short months. And let me tell you something, that's my community. I represented them in the legislature. They've been wonderful to me. But you don't captivate them in a couple months unless you're one heck of a person. So I want to make sure that he stays there. So as you all are letting the teachers implement all of these new changes and pursue that deliberate excellence and that college and career ready students that will walk across the stage, that you leave him there to share for at least a lot of years. That's all I have. Thank you very much.